Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another polymer clay video at my YouTube channel and my blog, keepsakecrafts.net. Today is the fourth and final video in our series on making this wildflower votive holder. I hope that you've enjoyed learning how simple it is to sculpt all these leaves and flowers. Today I'll be showing you one final flower and one final leaf and how to finish it all up. So here's what we've done so far. I've shown you how to make these 3 different types of leaves and these 4 types of flowers. So today we're going to finish up with some crocuses and some leaves to fill out the rest of the project. And what you'll need for that is whatever color you want to make your crocuses. Mine's going to be yellow, rolled on the thinnest setting of your pasta machine. This is yellow with just a little pinch of red in it to give it a bit of an orangey cast, and a little white, I think, to lighten it up. And this is the green I'm using. This is Fimo Professional True Green, and I've added just a little bit of black to get this color. I've also added more black to this to get another shade that we'll use later. And you'll need one of these little flower cutters. You can find these in the sets that are with the polymer clay supplies at your local craft store, or I'll put a link to those in the description box below. But you'll just need to cut out one of these for every one of your crocuses that you want. And I'm doing my crocuses in clusters of 3, because if you look at how they grow, they're usually in bundles. Now after you cut out your pieces, you can pull away the excess clay. Just take a scrap of paper or index card and lay it over each one and just lightly with your finger go around. You can feel the edges and see all that does. It doesn't flatten it out very much. You don't want to flatten them out a lot. You just want to soften those cut edges. Next, you'll take a single edge razor blade, but take the blunt edge, so hold it very carefully, and just lightly press the blunt edge, dividing it in half 3 times between the petals. You just want to score it. Don't press very hard here. You don't want to cut it in half. You just want to make a mark that we're going to fold it along, just like if you were scoring a piece of paper. Now you can take the sharp edge of your blade and scoop up your flower, and then just kind of gently pinch it and gather it in between your fingers, and it will fold on those score lines you've made. And voila, a crocus. Now I've tried this both ways. I've done it with the score lines on the inside and the score lines on the outside, and honestly I haven't noticed any difference. You can kind of pinch them into a triangle. If it doesn't work that way, don't worry about it though, and then pinch them all together. And so what you have is the view of a crocus from the side. Now crocuses have these very long, thin leaves. And so I'm going to take a little bit of my green and roll it out as thin as possible. So once it starts breaking, then you know you have it close to thin enough. I used about 10 or 12 of these green stems for each cluster of 3 crocuses. And then to place your crocuses, they go, of course, they're the shortest of all the flowers. Just place a bundle, like maybe 4 or 5 of these short little stems, wherever you want them to be. And remember to kind of have them overlapping each other so they'll have something to stick to. And then you can pick up your little crocuses. And what's really handy here is one of these offset needle tools. I'll have a link to this, the set that this is in. You can kind of tuck it inside one of the folds and use that to press it onto some of the green. Because you don't want to press real hard from the front, because then you'll flatten that nice shape that you made. And then I've added my cluster of 3, and then you can add some of these longer bits, again starting at the bottom with the greenery and kind of going across and atop the other ones. If you take a look on my larger votive, you'll see that I've made sure that all these real thin strands connect to something else. They connect to another leaf or a flower or some other part of the foliage, so that none of them are just hanging out there by themselves, because once the clay is baked, they're not going to stick unless they're stuck to another bit of clay. Now for our final bit of foliage, we're going to use the texture from actual leaves. Just go outside and see what you can find, or find a house plant, or even an artificial plant if you don't have any. These are just some mint leaves. They have a really nice texture. And so I'm just going to break off a few. I'm going to leave that little bit of a stem on there. It makes things easier. And then this is that other shade of green. So here's the original true green from Fimo. And then here it is with a little bit of black added. And then here it is with even more black added. So that's a great way to get a whole range of colors that will all work together. So this is rolled out on the thinnest setting of my pasta machine. And I'm going to put my leaves with the back side down because the back side has a more distinct texture. And just gently rub these with my finger. You don't need to rub hard. And you don't want to go over it with an acrylic rod because that will impress this line in there and split the leaf. Rub lightly and you'll get a nice texture. And the reason I kept these little bits makes it easier to peel the leaves up. Then just take a craft knife and cut out whatever shape you want for your leaves. These are going to be filler all around the vase, the votive. So you'll need tall ones, short ones. Peel up the excess clay. And then again, take a bit of index card or a scrap of paper. Feel those edges through the index card. And that's enough to just soften those cut edges so that your piece has a more natural look. And then use your blade. And I like to make a bunch of these at a time because it's easy to just pick them all up and put them on my votive. You can see I've started wherever it seems like you need to connect some clay to another. That's a good place to put one of your leaves. And I've done them in the darker and the medium shade of green. And I've got these pretty well filled in so that all the stuff along the bottom edges is all connected. And what I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start shingling these so that they'll fill up the whole center bottom of my votive. And there it is, all filled in with leaves. I just do this, I think it gives more of a finishing touch from the outside and from the inside. It's all filled in. And if you like, if it's sitting a little lumpy and off center, what you can do is take a texture sheet. I just have a real simple texture sheet here. Set it on there, set it on a tile, on a flat surface, and go ahead and press down. If the bottom of your glass dips in, you may want to flip it over and just press that texture in so that you have a nice, smooth, finished look. And now your piece is ready to bake. Put a candle in and enjoy the beauty of some spring wildflowers. For links to the tools and materials I used in this video, you can click to go to the accompanying blog post. So here's another look at the project we made. I know technically these aren't all wildflowers, but I just kind of love the wild way they're all arranged, scattered all about. I hope that you really enjoyed this project and that you'll give some polymer clay sculpting a try. Thanks so much for watching Keepsake Crafts videos. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share, and make sure you've subscribed to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. I upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and on my blog. Happy creating! Bye-bye.